Imagine a notebook that holds the power of life and death. Just one name, and that person vanishes forever. But what happens when this notebook falls into the wrong hands again? The start of the movie features the introduction of a notebook. Anyone whose name is scribbled on this notepad will perish, a voice from the backside declares. A doctor is later shown, and the same book that was found in front of his house. It was written on it that whoever's name is written will die. The doctor sees the patient, who states his desire to die because I'm in extreme pain. Do anything that will cause me to die. This patient's name is written in that notebook by the doctor, and he dies instantly. More information regarding that notebook is revealed on the doctor. We should write the true name of the person whose name we are writing in the notebook. And we must have a mental image of that person whose name we are writing on this notebook, along with whom we've seen before. We've also been told that the people who own this notebook should have Shinigami eyes. Anyone who sees such a person can see the name on his head. They will die when they write their name in the notebook, the Death Notebook. This film is in fact the second part of the film. In the first part, we saw Light, who used the Death Note and became known as Kira. L was hired to kill Light. After 10 years, the criminals connected to terrorists begin to mysteriously die. Many people have heart attacks, leading people to believe Kira has returned. Someone is using the Death Note, and a task force has been formed with Ryuzaki as its head. Ryuzaki was L's son and the one who revealed Light. The man who had used the Death Note before 10 years was the Light. We see a girl in the film who finds the Death Notebook and declares, "I'll use this notebook better than Kira." The task team receives news that people are dying on the roads. The majority of them are dying of heart attacks. It seems that the girl is making use of the Death Notebook. They've been told that the girl in the black hoodie is using the Death Notebook to kill people. The task team arrived on time and discovered that this girl has Shinigami eyes. Those with Shinigami eyes, as previously stated, may see the names of people floating above their heads. This girl is writing people's names from a Death Notebook and killing them after writing their names. The task force arrived on time and she handed over the Death Notebook. They murdered the girl, and someone wrote her name in the Death Notebook before killing her. The notebook is kept by the task force, and the girl dies. The owner appears when they touch the Death Notebook, as a rule. The possessor manifests when individuals come into contact with the lethal notebook. According to the owner, there are only 6 Death Notes in the world. People wonder if the notebooks could be more. No, he adds, only 6 notebooks are allowed in the human world. The task force's mission was to locate the remaining 5 notebooks. The Kira virus later spreads to all monitors, computers, and mobile phones. That meant Kira's video was playing on every phone and laptop. They'd all have had their computers and phones hacked. In his video, Kira said that the next Kira would be the one to collect the notebooks. He'll see me later, since I've devised a new plan. I want to create a world where peace can exist. An officer on the task team asks about Light's death from another office. He claims that Light had died just in front of my eyes. They couldn't figure out who the new Kira was if Light had died. Who sent the message to collect all of the notebooks? We also know that these policemen haven't told each other their real names, because Kira may be one of them as well. If he knows their true name, he will write it down in the Death Notebook, and they will die. That's why it was a secret task force. The head of the task force asks the detective named Mishima if Misa is doing all of this. He claims that no matter what Misa did, her memory was erased before the age of 10. Now it's time to tell you that Misa, who liked Light, was seen in the previous part, and who collaborated with Light. They also discussed the prosecutor in charge of Misa's case. Later, we'll talk about who plays what role. Misa, who was at the shoot, is later seen. When she enters her room, she hears a voice from potato chips placed in front of the table. It was the voice of Light. When she opened the packet of chips, she noticed a cell with a recording device inside. The audio tells her to open the present box that has been placed in front of her. There was a Death Notebook inside when she opened it. Her memory returns as she touches the notebook. It was the rule that she recall everything. When someone uses the Death Notebook, he is reminded of all that has happened. When you give someone a notebook, it erases your memories. This represents the recollection of the instance when the death journal was employed. Misa's entire memory is restored as she holds the death diary. Meanwhile, the angel from the death diary appears and says, "Misa, it's been a long time since I've seen you." We also know that the task force has been keeping a close check on Misa. They assume the new Kira will surely contact Misa. A boy was seated in the back seat of Misa's car as she got in. "I was the one who leaked Kira's video," he alleges. Kira has requested that I meet Misa in a message. He says to help him in collecting the notebook, and then we'll travel to the location where Kira has asked that we meet. "If Kira is still alive and has met you," Misa says, "he's got to know where he's supposed to meet me." "No," the boy adds, "he didn't stated he wanted you to drive me there." Actually, this boy has seen Kira's video and wishes to meet Kira, Light. Misa refuses to assist him, and the boy departs. The task force set up the cameras, but the boy was too cunning and hacked them. That is why the task force is unaware of whether or not someone has met Misa. Later on, a lady is seen supporting Kira, and she dies. Many people die as a result of their support for Kira. There are 5 notebooks in total, one of which is dedicated to someone who opposes Kira. He is killing Kira's supporters. Meanwhile, the man who is looking for Kira's followers on the internet is shown, and writing their names on the notebook in order for them to die. Subsequently, the individual who encounters Misa is unveiled to be the messenger of Kira. He hypnotized him and then killed him by stealing a notebook. I took the remaining 3 notebooks, and he's in one of them. Sheen, the person who went to see Misa, was in charge of everything. Who wants to meet Kira? According to the message of Kira, and whoever wants to meet me should collect all of the notebooks. That's why he uses his hacking skills to track down people possessing death notes. He murders these people to meet with them so he could meet Kira after collecting them. He spreads a virus on the computer, in which he sends out a message demanding that the task force's leader reveal his name and face. Otherwise, I'll continue to murder people. In response, the task force's leader shows him a video and urges him to visit a website because he could trace that person's location. They interact using a website, and the task force reaches him by tracing his location. He flees before they arrive, leaving a death notebook behind. One of the names of an investigator is written in that death notebook. He'll smile and shoot himself, and the same thing will happen. Later on, the government dissolves the task force that they could work properly. They've not investigated properly. Mishima's friend died, and he didn't agree on this. He maintains his investigation despite his friend's death. He knows about this investigation because of the task force leader Ryuzaki's video. He has the final death notebook in his possession and has arrived at his house. There, he meets a creature who lives in Ryuzaki's house. He is also aware that Ryuzaki possesses the final death notebook. Ryuzaki, on the other hand, claims that I've never used it. He claims that L gave him this notebook and that he has never used it. I haven't used it either. Ryuzaki claims that if he wanted to, he could kill you with this creature, but he doesn't. Mishima has trust in him and has left his home. They truly have no idea who the new Kira is. Mishima has later arrested in charge of the case of Light's son because he was tasked with finding both Light's son and the prosecutor. However, he was unable to locate him and was arrested. He might be united with Kira. When Mishima is arrested, the task force's leader arrives to set his bail. "We'll find the new Kira together," he says. They devise a plan to meet that boy they had previously contacted through the website. They've looked for his location, but he runs. They tell him that they have the death notes and will hand them over to him. They agree to meet him at the art center later, and he agrees to take the death notebook from them. In addition, he tells Ryuzaki to show his face in front of me. He also asks Misa, who has Shinigami eyes, for help. Ryuzaki follows the plan and arrives at the center, where the boy must also arrive. Mishima had been keeping an eye on other things, and their team members were with them. In the meantime, the man they must meet jams the signal. Misa comes and murders 3 members of their team, as well as the task force's leader. She afterward goes to meet the boy who contracted them to meet them. She tells him, "You said Light is alive," and she says, I've seen his picture via my Shinigami eyes. I've seen him dead, and Kira's leaked video isn't of light. She also asks him to accompany her to a mountain hotel, to which Ryuzaki listens. He directs his teammates to go there. On the other hand, the boy collecting notes for Kira is well aware that Kira is no longer alive. He now arrives at the hotel where Misa had set him. When he arrives, he informs the Death Angel that Kira has died, although the leaked video does not appear to be of Light, but of someone else. I followed Kira, he claims, and he died. I'll kill that duplicate Kira, he adds, and I'll work as Kira. I'll only use the Death Notebook to state that I'm looking for the new Kira. He tells the Death Angel to give him Shinigami eyes, which he does. He must sacrifice half of his eyes to obtain Shinigami's eyes. Ryuzaki and Mishima arrive as well, but Ryuzaki passes away. He didn't die in real life, but he pretended to do so. Shin, who is watching Ryuzaki, puts his name on the Death Notebook. However, he did not die, and Ryuzaki inquires, "Do you know why I did not die?" "Because my name has previously been written for death on a different day, and I'll die on the same day." Mishima inquires as to how he knows, and he responds that the Death Angel has informed him. "Someone has written my name in a death notebook, and I'll die the same way L did." Ryuzaki, on the other hand, claims that he didn't write my name down for the purpose of death. "I would have died if he had done so. It means he isn't the new Kira, but someone else is. If he isn't, Mishima wonders who could be. Shin, who is listening to this, suggests that Light has a son and that he could be the new Kira who is doing this. Ryuzaki claims that if he had been here, he would have been only 9 years old. He couldn't do it because he was too early. Ryuzaki asks Mishima whether it was your job to find him. "Now you tell me what you know about the case?" He claims that he has no memory of anything and that he has no knowledge of anything. "Who could forget?" Ryuzaki replies that you worked on this case. Ryuzaki is doubtful that a man forgets only when he gives someone his death notebook. "It shows that you were the new Kira and that you had used the death notebook." Mishima expresses concern and claims that I haven't. Ryuzaki asks him to retouch the death notebook, and your memories will be restored. Mishima's memory restores once he touches the death diary. It reveals that the prosecutor murdered Light's son. By writing his name in Death's notebook, Mishima also reached there. He was to write his name in his dying notebook when he realized Mishima had seen this. Mishima, on the other hand, had shot him with the gun and had the death notebook. Meanwhile, he received Kira's note, which he gave to his son, in which he stated that unless he receives the message, he will die. "And you'll carry on after me." Mishima began to use that death notebook later on. Kira, according to him, only murders criminals. "I'm going to end the war," and he started killing terrorists. He was aware of the task force, and he is in charge of it. He was aware of the task force, whose leader is Ryuzaki. He had written the death of Ryuzaki on a death notebook at the time. Ryuzaki's death has been written by Mishima. He had given the death notebook to Angel after writing the death. His memory was later erased, and he had edited Kira's video. In the video, Kira says, "I'll die unless you get this video." However, he has edited the video to show that I am still alive. Later, he asked Death Angel to make this video viral. In addition, the notebook was disprocessed. That suggests the memory was erased after you returned. In the present, everyone knows that Mishima is the new Kira. During all this conversation, the police arrive there. Shin tries to ask, but he dies in the process. Before dying, he gives Mishima all of the death notebooks. Ryuzaki and Mishima are now trying to escape from a subway. Mishima is also tried to be killed by a member of the task team. When she realizes he is Kira, meanwhile, the creature in Ryuzaki's house saves him as. She wasn't supposed to kill anyone, but she killed a young girl. That's why she too dies. Mishima and Ryuzaki were also taken into custody. Ryuk, the Death Angel, later informs Mishima that 6 death notes have been brought into this world. People will continue to be greedy, so my task will continue. These 6 death notes, according to Mishima, are secure and in official control. Ryuk claims that humans will never be able to overcome their greed and that the game will continue. It happens the same. Mishima was later seen in jail. When Ryuzaki arrives, he informs him that the car in which the notebooks were being carried has been attacked by terrorists, and 4 death notebooks have been finished on the spot. Rest of the two notebooks are missing. Ryuzaki also informs Mishima that you've written my name in the death book at this day. That means I'll die today. And he tells Mishima that she'll help him with the mission. He claims I'm not very qualified, whereas Ryuzaki claims I'm Mishima. Now you're Ryuzaki, and you're qualified since Mishima is dying, while Ryuzaki is still living. Mishima later leaves after revealing his true identity. Because Ryuzaki usually claims to be above the law, he was able to free Mishima. Now Mishima has left, and Ryuzaki has died. We watch a video of Light laughing and declaring that everything went according to plan at the end of the movie. The movie finally ends here.